Okay, perfect. There we go. All right, everything is live. I'm just gonna hop over and get changed. This is not a sneak peek. This is just my own clothing. Of course, I bought this hoodie in purple. Anyways, I will be right back. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I am here. I am just running like 2 minutes late, so I figured I'd start the live and then hurry over and get some clothes on after I've got things started so people know that I am here. I'm coming. Okay. Let us see what I have to go with the stuff for today. Is this all today's lunch? So it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, hello everyone. I am here. I am just off in the corner getting changed. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Hello, hello. Hi, Carolyn. Good morning. Let's see, who else do we have? That's it so far. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I am just gonna throw on, I got a new lip product I've been dying to try. And I thought it would go cute with my red-ish blush today. So give me 2 seconds to put on some lip product so that my lips actually show up on camera, and then we'll get started. Okay. There we go, good enough. I'm one of those people that's really OCD about trying to make sure my lips are like symmetrical. Which realistically, it's not like I'm getting so up close to the camera anyone would probably notice but me, but that's just me. But yeah, this is, I just got this from, there's a website called Sukoshi Mart, and they sell Korean beauty and Japanese beauty and Chinese beauty products. And a lot of my Asian friends are like, oh my God, you need to try this brand. It's called Romand, R-O-M, and then it's an ampersand, N-D, Romand, and they make the best like lip tints and lip stains, which is a look that I'm really into, like that look of like, oh, I just drank a glass of Kool-Aid, which there's not a lot of options at like Sephora for that, but that's been really big in Korean beauty and Japanese beauty products for quite a while. So like that's a place to go. So I think that definitely nails the like, I just drank a glass Kool-Aid look, which is what I was hoping for. So that's great. So we'll see, I guess if it completely wears off by the time I'm done my live, we'll know that. So this is kind of like a mini like lip trial review of my new lip gloss lip stain thing at the same time. But anyways, let us get going. So good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle. I am the 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I typically wear a 3X top and bottom. I am typically an 18W in Judy Blues, a 20 to 22 in other brands depending on the fit and style of the garment. And then for height reference, I am 6'1", so I am very tall. So I do try to talk about length and sleeves like that. So just know if like jeans or sleeves look a little short on me, that's usually a me problem, not the garment. But I do try to talk about that when it is relevant. So with that, let's get started with today's daily drop. So we have 4 tops on the docket for the Tuesday daily drop. These jeans are from later in the week. I just needed pants to wear to try on with the rest of it. So we will get to the jeans in due time. But for now, let's start with the tops. So this little cute shrug right here, this is the Senna striped crochet cardigan in multi. This one's gonna be retailing for $74, and this one is available in sizes small through 3X. This one is made of acrylic nylon. Makes sense for a kind of like knitted type garment. And this one is true to size. Everyone took their typical size, with Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium, Melissa's in the 1X, and myself in the 3X. So this one is definitely like a true to size fit. I wouldn't say it's like true to size for a relaxed fit, with this being the 3X. Like there is a little bit of slouchiness in the arms and whatnot, but it's not like I'm absolutely drowning in it. I can't like full like robe wrap myself in it. There still has that like that kind of openness to it. It's not like it's like super big, but I am still getting the intended like flowiness and drapiness without it being what I would describe as like a super relaxed fit or being oversized. So the arms are a really nice length on me. I realize I do this a lot of the time to show you length, but because my arms are so long, they literally go out of frame so you can't see. But even with my arms outstretched, it's still a good sleeve length on me, and it is still staying at my wrist. And then if I do want to pull it up, there is still enough elastic in the cuff of the sleeve that it's not going to be constantly falling down. That's something I always like to test with cardigans and kind of like throw over tops like this, because being so tall my whole life, I have really long arms. I'm so used to sleeves being short that I just instinctively pull them up out of the way anyways, and I'm not used to wearing things with long sleeves, so I get annoyed by them pretty easily. So I just like, and so that is kind of a good litmus test for me, is that there is enough structure in the cuff that it keeps it up my arm, but there is still a lot of room as well. This one has a lot of like really subtle kind of detailing. It's really bright, like verging between a pastel and like a bright color. I wouldn't say they're quite pastel, but they're definitely like more pastel tones, but they're still quite saturated, if that makes sense. But I like how subtle it is. And we have this other kind of like a like cocoa-y brown mauve color here as kind of like a dark hit of asymmetry, and then we get the more pastel-y tones. We're getting this lilac, this kind of like salmon pink color, and this like really nice daffodil yellow. I feel like this is a really good like starting to look towards a spring piece, because the overall like vibe of the garment is still very much winter and snow, but because we're getting those little pops of spring colors, it's a fun way to like slowly start thinking that maybe the snow will be gone. I mean, considering it's been like above 0 here for the last several days, and it looks like it's going to be until the end of the week, there might actually be no snow here by the end of the week. But I mean, typically we know that it's Fool's Spring, as it's called, and then we're getting another dump of snow, and then we'll get like second false spring. I let the whole, those memes about like how many springs we get in Western Canada, hilarious. But again, this is the Senna striped crochet cardigan in a multi. This one's gonna be retailing for $74. Size is small through 3X, and everyone wears their typical size for this one and true to size. Okay, and then under that we have the Celeste basic tee in purple. I'm gonna go hang the cardigan back up, and then we can see the t-shirt. We've had a few of the Celeste tees dropping, so this one shouldn't look too brand new or unfamiliar. We've just not had it in this really pretty like wisteria purple color yet. So once again, this is described as the color purple, and I would say it's very much like an orchid purple or a wisteria purple, where it's got that like rich, not quite neon, but also not pastel. It's definitely more saturated, and it has kind of, it's definitely like a red based purple for sure. This one's gonna be retailing for $38, and it is available in sizes small through 3X. We all take our typical size for this one, so again, that is Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium, Melissa takes the extra large in this one, and I am in the 3X. So this one has an extra large as opposed to a 2X for this one. And then the fabric on this one is a rayon spandex blend. Again, not a whole lot to say about this one that I haven't said in other lives. It is just a really nice classic t-shirt fit. It's got a little bit of that flowiness, especially kind of in the front here, but it's not like a super relaxed or oversized fit. It is more fitted kind of in the shoulders and the bust, and then it just falls and drapes really nicely from under the bust, and just kind of like skims over the hips and the stomach, which is really nice. Great length on this one. We can see it is a little bit longer in the back than the front. It even covers my butt, and I have a long torso. So this one is really great if you want to wear it as like tunic length kind of vibe with leggings or something like that. Really versatile. And then of course we have this really cute little pocket for hiding little surprises on the bust right there. So once again, this is the Celeste Basic Tee in purple. Again, this one's going to be retailing for $38. Sizes small through 3X. Everyone wears their typical size, so I am in the 3X for this one. All right, we have two more sweaters to show off. We've got a zip-up sweater, like a half zip, and another type of sweater. I'm gonna go for the half zip first. So I'll try that guy on and be right back. Okay. Get this one sorted out. There we go. I was just folding down the collar in the back. There we go. So this is the Savannah half zip knit sweater in rust. This one is going to be retailing for $74, and this one is available in sizes small through 3X. It is a 1X large as the middle size with this one. This one we definitely describe as a relaxed fit, a little bit oversized. So Christine and Carrie both wear the small with this one. Melissa opted for the 1X large, and then I am wearing the 3X, but I could definitely size down to the 2X for this one. I haven't honestly tried on the 2X for this one yet. Just because it wasn't up here when I was doing photos, but I can kind of go either way, just because I find with a sweater like this, having the front neck zip, this is one that I would probably dress up more than dress down. And when I have a sweater that I want to dress down and be more cozy, I will leave it in the bigger size. But because I feel like the zip kind of makes it a little bit fancier, if that makes sense, this is one I would potentially dress up. So I think I could wear the 2X or the 3X very comfortably in this one. It does have a very dropped shoulder. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but this is kind of where the shoulder seam starts here, so it is like a very drop shoulder, and that is a big part of what contributes to it being such a like oversized and comfy type of style and fit. So this one is a 100% polyester for the knit of the fabric. It is this really nice like butterscotch rusty brown color. I'll get up close so we can see just the different textures, because there is this kind of like charcoal gray and this white ivory mixed in, but the predominant color is definitely still that kind of rusty caramelly color in this one. I'll also show the zipper up here up close. It is a fully functional zipper. I'm not going to give everyone a peep show too much. Ooh, this is probably too much. But it is a fully functioning zipper, so you could wear something underneath and have it like pop out. You could use it to frame a really cute necklace. You could also zip it all the way up if you wanted to and have it be kind of like that, like a high neck collar kind of style, if that's your prerogative. My favorite way and how I would probably style it is I would kind of just like zip it to sit kind of at my collarbones and leave it as like a folded collar. But there's definitely options there because it is a full functioning zipper, and there is enough structure in the collar that you could have it stand all the way up or fold it all the way down for this one. If I turn around, you can see that this one is, it's probably meant to be kind of like a full like symmetrical around the back. It was just kind of stuck on my shoulders a little bit. It's not actually shorter in the back. That's just kind of, I think the tag kind of got stuck in my hair a little bit, but it is kind of the same length. And then around the back it is, you can see a little bit of that folded collar there. So you could fold it all the way around, or like I said, you could have it be popped for a couple of different looks for this one. All right, so again, this is the Savannah Half Zip Knit Sweater in Rust. This one is a relaxed fit, so if you want it to be a little bit slimmer fit, we do recommend sizing down. I am currently wearing, and I am pictured in the 3X, but I could definitely wear the 2X as well if I wanted it to be less relaxed fitting. And that is what Carrie opted for the small. Melissa is in the 1X. And again, I am in the 3X, but I could definitely size down to the 2X just fine if I wanted it to be a little less like comfy and oversized. And this one's gonna be retailing for $74. All right, I have one more sweater that is gonna be dropping today. So I'll change into that one and be right back. Also, so far so good on the lip stain. I know sometimes with lip stains, the only like comparable product I have that is from like the North American beauty market is from Anastasia Beverly Hills. They have a lip stain that kind of gave that same like cherry cola just drink stuff, but that one I find to be quite like sticky when you first put it on, and then once it dries down it's very drying, and my lips definitely don't feel moisturized, so I have to prep my lips for it. This one I did not do any sort of lip prep whatsoever, and it definitely feels very like not quite glossy, but it does feel still really nice and moisturizing, so that is a good sign so far for this lip product that I have on. Not sponsored, by the way. I just thought it'd be a fun journey to go through the process of me trying out a new lipstick while I'm here, and it doesn't look like it's transferred it or anything, so that's great. I mean, it's also only been like 10 minutes, so I hope it wasn't already leaving, but you know, you never know with some stuff. Okay, so this is the Shifted Chic Asymmetrical Knit Sweater in taupe. This one is going to be retailing for $69. And it is available in sizes small through 3X. This one we say is true to size, but you could possibly size down for this one depending on the fit. And the reason we said that is because Christine went with the small, Carrie also opted for the small in this one. Melissa went with the 1X, I'm in the 3X, and for myself personally, I don't think I would size down, just because of the way that the sweater is cut and because I have such broad shoulders. I think if I were to size down, I do think that I would end up having some issues in the shoulder. I can feel with this one here just because of the way the asymmetry sits. I think that this would end up pulling a little bit too much, more than just the intended amount for the asymmetry. So for myself being such like broad shouldered, I'm gonna say true to size for this one for me, but Carrie did end up sizing down in this sweater. And this one is a 100% acrylic for the net, which makes sense for a sweater like this. So this one has a lot of really fun features being asymmetrical. So we do have the traditional kind of like sweater hem around the back, but it kind of stops at this point here. And we get this kind of cool, swoopy, like handkerchief kind of vibe almost that kind of starts from the bottom of the seam sleeve here and it cuts all the way across the front. And then we get this cool little slit on the side, and then we get the same vibe happening up the back. And we can see where that band kind of wraps all the way down and around, and this is kind of where the scrunch starts to happen. And there is a different like knit pattern as well that does that. So we can see that on this side, that kind of where the cinching happens, we get this vertical, like kind of typical knit. And then we have this one with the little like straight line details on this side that's meant to be the more like loose hanging side, if that makes sense. Whereas this is the kind of like scrunched up side. And then in the back, we can see that that same pattern kind of continues through the back. So this is kind of like the accent chunk around the right arm right here. Super cute. Definitely a good length on this sweater as well. This is one you could definitely wear tunic style with leggings, especially if you are not as tall as me. Even on me though, I mean, I don't know if I'd wear it like with tights or anything like that, like as a sweater dress, just because here would definitely be too short. But with leggings and stuff, I could definitely get away with that as well. Like I said, in terms of shoulder wise, I do find that because I am so broad shouldered, if I were to size down, I think in this area here, I would have an issue. I think this sleeve would kind of start to come up, and I think that this shoulder would come down, and I think I would get some mobility and pulling issues in this area. But in my typical size of 3X, I definitely have no problems like that. It does feel a little bit weird when you first put the sweater on, just because you can kind of feel where the arm starts, whereas most like drop sleeves like this, it's a little bit more like seamless feeling. But after a while you get used to it, and like I still have full range of motion. It's just I feel that seam more than I'm used to, but that's just kind of the construction of the garment, and it has nothing to do with fit. It's just because it is like an atypical like shape of garment that it's gonna make that, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. But it is super unique. Not at all, Caitlin, zero itch. I am really, really sensitive to that. There is no wool in it, and I am one of those people that finds it like incredibly, horribly itchy. Absolutely zero itch with this. I'm not wearing any kind of undershirt, anything like that, and I am totally fine. So no itch whatsoever, but that is a great question. And that's true with the zip up as well. Neither of the sweaters I tried on had any itch factor whatsoever. All right, so again, this is the Shifted Chic Asymmetrical Knit Sweater in taupe. $69 for this one, sizes small through 3X. True to size, but you could potentially size down because there is a little bit of extra fabric. But again, if you are broad-shouldered like me or larger chested, I would definitely suggest staying with your true size to make sure that you still have enough room up here. But if you are a little bit, maybe more like, which to me, like I am typically like a straight shape, except my shoulders. Like I'm like a triangle, but without the big bustiness of a triangle. It's just the shoulders. Or I'm like I'm trying to think, like I'm like a spork shape or something almost. Like I'm wide at the shoulders, and then I come down and I'm just straight, like a pitchfork. Does that make sense? Or not a pitchfork, a rake, like a garden rake, where I'm like a triangle but then down straight. That's my body shape. And so if you're like me and you have broad shoulders, or if you are larger chested, which I am not large chested, but the shoulders kind of make up for that, I would recommend staying with your typical size just to make sure you've got enough room to move in the arms and whatnot. Yeah, no problem, Caitlin. That is a great question, that especially with sweaters and stuff too, because there's nothing worse than getting a super cute sweater and you put it on and you're just immediately like, ugh, and want to like crawl out of your skin because it's itchy. But yeah, 100% certified not itchy from someone who is very easily itchied in clothes. Okay, so that is everything for today's daily drop. We've got the 2 sweaters, the t-shirt, and the little crochet cardigan. Those are all going to be launching today at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, just double checking. I don't think I have a PM launch today. Oh, no, I do actually. We have an outfit drop happening tonight at 8 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And it is the jeans that I am currently wearing. So I actually happened to pick a good pair of jeans to wear for the Tuesday daily drop because they are also dropping today. So these, I will kind of tuck up the sweater too so you can see them better, but these are the Risen Jeans High Rise Tummy Control Skinnies, AKA the Ivans. This is like the worst possible sweater to be wearing when I'm trying to show off jeans because of all the like hangy bits and stuff, but I'm just gonna like attempt to shove it in. Does this look a little strange? Absolutely, I'm aware of it, but I'm working with what I got, so please forgive me. Had I realized the jeans were like right up next, I would have saved the t-shirt for last so that I could just like tie it up like I usually do, but I think, yeah, that'll work. It gets us by for what we need today. Yes, so these again are the Risen Jeans High Rise Tummy Control Skinnies, aka the Ivans. These ones are going to be retailing for $93, and they are available in sizes 1 through 15 for the standard sizing, and then for plus sizes they are available in 1X, 2X, and 3X, which is kind of the typical for Risen, where they do numbered sizing up to 15, and then the plus sizes are just a lettered sizing like that. And they are true to size for Risen, so Christine typically wears a 5 in Risen, and she wears the 5. Carrie's a 9 to 11 in Risen, and she wears the 11. Melissa is typically a 14W in Judy Blues, and she wears the 1X large. That is typical for Risen. And then I am typically an 18 in Judy Blues, and I am wearing the 3X, and I would say they fit absolutely great. I've been super impressed with Risen jeans. I would say that the sizing is quite similar if you're in the plus size 1X, 2X, 3X range. It's pretty similar to like Judy Blues shorts, which are also sized by letters as opposed to numbers. I would say it's fairly accurate, maybe even slightly more generous. So for me, being an 18W typically in Judy's, I would say these would be comfortable for someone from a size 18, 20, and possibly even a 22 could get away with these. It might start to get a little bit snug, but I still have, and it's hard to see with the sweater in the way, but I do still have a couple inches I can stretch out on the waistband, so the waistband is not snug on these at all. And there is and I really like the denim that they use for these because there is quite a bit of stretch, but it also snaps right back, so I'm not getting the issue that I've been having lately with jeans, just the way that my body has been changing shape with some recent weight loss, is that I end up having a lot of extra fabric in this hip area because I have to size to kind of accommodate my waist, but then I don't have a lot of like hip and booty to kind of fill it out all the way around, so I end up getting extra fabric in this area here. But even with the 3X having a little bit of stretch room in the waist, I'm not having that issue with these, so I'm really happy with how these fit. These are described as a skinny, but I would call them more of a slim or a straight, just because in my mind a skinny jean is like I think back to like 2008 in my like emo phase era, where to me a skinny jean is like painted down my calves. This, not so much. I do have, I wouldn't say like slimmer calves, but I have very lean calves, if that makes sense, for someone who has a 3X body and shape. My calves are very muscular, but then they taper very much at the ankle. I don't carry a lot of excess body fat in my calves, more so in my thighs. I have meatier thighs here, but my thighs have never been particularly a place where my body's carried fat. It's always been very muscular, but I do have incredibly muscular thighs. I get that from my mom. Her calves are also like insanely trim, and they've been like that her whole life. Same with mine. But for me, like I consider skinny jean, like I would probably think it kind of fits more like that. So to me, this is more of like, not quite a straight leg though, because it does definitely taper from the thigh. So I would consider this a slim personally. I also don't have the inseam on these, but I'm gonna guess they're probably about 30 inches. They are decently long. I typically wear, being 6'1", I typically have like a 34 to 35 inch inseam for a jean to like be truly length, like touching the floor. So I'm gonna guess these are about a 30 inch, which is I think a really nice length because it's easy enough to roll up if you are shorter, but it is long enough that it's going to accommodate like most people. So I think these are a really accessible length in terms of being a slim cut jean as well. And then in terms of distressing and wash, we have a little bit of the whiskering on the thighs here. Not super dramatic, but it's also definitely noticeable. And then we have just a little bit of physical distressing. We have this little patch here. We have a little patch on the thigh here. And then I think, if I remember correctly, there isn't any on the back. There might be some under this tag that I can't see, but so not a ton of physical distressing, just the odd little patch here and there. So again, these are the Risen Jeans High Rise Tummy Control Skinnies, aka the Ivans. These are going to be retailing for $93, sizes 1 through 15 for the straight sizes, and then 1X, 2X, and 3X for plus. And we do find that these fit true to Risen sizes for everyone. So I typically wear a 3X, and that is exactly what I take in these as well. I did not try the 2X, but just based on how comfortable the 3Xs were, I do not think I would have a reason to size down to the 2X for these ones. And again, these are going to be launching tonight at 8 p.m. as part of an outfit drop with a button down and a short sleeve top, which are not in plus, but the jeans are. Okay, so that is everything for today. Let us move on to Wednesday, the 15th. I actually put 2.5 instead of 2.4 into the date so far. I feel like that is a win for me. Okay, so I have a pair of Judy Blue cargo jogger jeans, and I think that is it for that. I don't have any tops. PM. I'm just searching when my next top will be so that I can pair that with. I can put on that jacket for Wednesday night. Let's check Thursday. Do I have a top on Thursday? Cardigan. Jeans. I might have to go back to the tee from today. I'm just kind of looking and not seeing a lot of other options to layer like under jackets and whatnot. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm gonna have to do. So, which is interesting because usually it's like I have tons of like tees or like basic layering pieces, but I don't have a lot of other stuff. But today it is that I have, you know, different pants and cute things to layer on top, but I do not have like, it's all stuff like cardigans and like jackets and stuff like that, so I don't actually have a lot to layer under, so that's kind of funny how that works. Once again, had I realized ahead of time, if I looked ahead, I would have worn the t-shirt last so I didn't have to change into it again, but oh well, that takes me like 2 extra seconds. Okay. So get used to seeing this wisteria purple color because it's probably going to be hanging out here for a while. But that's okay because it's really pretty. Okay. I think this jacket, we'll throw it on now anyways. Okay, I think I have everything sorted out. So I have the next pair of jeans and I have the jacket. So the jeans, if I remember correctly, they were for Wednesday. So we'll go back to the 15th. Yes. Okay, so these jeans, these are the Judy Blue High Rise Mid-Wash Cuffed Cargo Jogger. That's a mouthful. Otherwise known as the Bowies. These are going to be retailing for $97 and they're available in the full typical Judy size range of 0 through 15 for the straight sizes and then 14W to 24W for the plus sizes. I am wearing my typical 18W in these, but I do want to make note that if you've tried other Judy Blue jogger jeans in the past, these ones are definitely a little bit more snug fitting. They don't have as much like stretch and elasticity in the waist and the hip area as others that I've tried. So if you were kind of in between sizes for those and you opted to size down in past ones I can think of, I think the Elios were like the black ones, or we've had like cranberry red ones or just other denim ones. If you opted to size down and you were in between sizes with these ones, I would actually recommend the opposite, and I would recommend sizing up if you're between sizes. With these ones, I did try it on the 18. This is the 18 currently, and I was on the fence. I thought about trying on the 20s, but after I wore them for a little bit, they kind of settled in, and I think that the 18 is the right choice. But I definitely feel a lot more kind of like support and sturdiness and structure in the waistband compared to other Judy Blue joggers that I've tried. So I would say that if you're in between for these ones, I would rather, and especially because they're supposed to be jogger jeans, they're meant to be more of a like baggy, loose, like relaxed hip hop kind of vibe. I would definitely recommend sizing up as opposed to sizing down for these ones, which is so weird because I don't think I've ever said that about any pair of Judy joggers ever, but for these ones, that is my recommendation. With these ones, everyone did end up taking their typical size for these ones. So Christine is in the 3, Carrie's in the 9, Melissa is in the 14, and I am in the 18 for these ones. These ones are really, really cute. Very on trend right now too for the kind of like 90s / Y2K with the like more hip hop kind of style, and lots of cargo elements to these ones too. They do have like the square carpenter pockets. They also have another pocket on the side of the thigh here, and then they also have square pockets in the back that have these little flaps. They don't have buttons on the back, which I'm kind of okay with because I find when there's buttons on back pockets, I always like, if I sit right back in my chair, I can feel them like poking me in the back, and it's not exactly my favorite feeling to have buttons on my butt. So I am definitely okay with that. And then they have that more, they are more like fitted in the hip and stuff, and then more relaxed in the thigh and the calf to give that kind of like Carpenter, Carhartt, cargo kind of vibe. And then the wash is like a light medium wash, and we have just a little bit of fading on the thighs and then no physical distressing or anything like that. They do come rolled up, but you can of course unroll them if you want for a little bit more length, and it really does give quite a bit of extra length. Like these again are probably a 30 or a 31 inch in length if they are unrolled, and they are kind of a tapered leg. Again, I don't know if I would call these a skinny jean, but I would probably call them a slim fit if you have them unrolled, but there is a little bit more room in the thigh and whatnot. But my preference is definitely to have them rolled. I think that they kind of go with that that more casual kind of relaxed vibe of the carpenter style, the cargo style, better when they're bold. So again, these are the GD Blue High Rise Mid-Washed Cuffed Cargo Joggers, aka the Bowies. These ones are going to retail for $97, sizes 0 through 15, 14 through 24. We all took our typical GD Blue sizes, but with these ones, as opposed to other GD Blue joggers, I will say that these ones are more structured and a little less forgiving. So if you're in between sizes, specifically for jogger styles, and you tend to size down, I would recommend actually sizing up for this pair specifically, at least with how it fits my body. That would be my recommendation. Okay, so that is everything I had for the Wednesday daily drop. So these will be dropping tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then if I go to Wednesday evening, we have another outfit drop. We have 2 pieces from POL, one being the pair of pants, which I unfortunately can't wear, and then we've got a red tank going with it, but then we do have this denim jacket from POL, which I can make work. So this is the Stay Focused textured jacket in denim. This one's gonna be retailing for $124. Oh, that's so funny. In the website photo, this is exactly the outfit I've paired it for. I didn't have the t-shirt tied up, but I have the same t-shirt and the same jeans on with the jacket in my website photos. But this one comes in small, medium, large, which is traditional for PLL. And we do find that a lot of the sizing is much more generous than just what you would expect of the typical letter. Again, typical for POL. So this is the large. With this one, I do find that just because the waist is like super, super, super elastic, and it's a very like tight elastic in that it wants to scrunch right back into place. So on me, the elastic does pull the ends of the jacket quite far back. So it ends up fitting almost more like a shrug on me versus an actual like denim jacket. But there is enough stretch in the denim that I can pull it together, and I'm just gonna do the one button because I do find that with my nails, the buttons on this jacket, they're really big and thick. And so they're really hard for me to like do up and undo. Like me trying to undo this jacket when I was trying it on was a nightmare. But you can see like I do have enough room that I could very easily button up all of the buttons like no problem, and I still have room to move, and I'm not like trapped in it by any means. And like there is still, it's not like it's squeezing me to death. Like there's still room in the elastic, even with me buttoning up around my waist, that I can move around and fit and everything. See it now, I have to try and unbutton it again so I can get out later. But these buttons are very thick and my nails are long and it is hard to maneuver. There we go. I feel like for half of my button-ups and stuff like this, that's the reason I tend to wear them open, is just because I can't be bothered with my nails to bother like buttoning and unbuttoning unless it's really easy. Or sometimes if it's like a big cardigan, I'll just leave it buttoned up and I'll just like put it on like a t-shirt, which works. But yeah, so that one, it does fit buttoned up, but I do prefer to wear it without buttoning. It is definitely a crop style, like very cropped on me for sure, but even on Christine, it's kind of sitting like just at her natural hip, and she is very petite. So unless you are also very petite like Christine, this is going to be a little bit more of a cropped vibe on you as well. So again, this is the Stay Focused textured jacket in denim. $124 for this bad boy. Sizes small, medium, and large. Carrie and Christine both take the small, and Melissa and myself both opt for the large in this one. All right, and that is launching on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, moving on to Thursday. I think we had another pair of jeans. We do, we have another pair of Judy's. Nothing Thursday, perfect. I will pop on the other jeans, and I think that's all yes, that is all I have for that day, so I will be back quite shortly. Okay, I'm just double checking this is indeed the right pair. Yes, it is. Okay. All right, so now we are on Thursday daily drop, and I just have the one pair of jeans to showcase for this. So these are the Judy Blue High Rise Rigid Magic 90s Destroyed Straight, aka the Atlas. These are retailing for $103, and they are available in the typical Judy size range, so 0 through 15, and then 14W through 24W. For sizing for these ones, I think we mostly opted for our typical sizes. Yeah, so Christina in the 3, Carrie in the 9, Melissa is in the 14, and then I am in the 18. But I do want to note that these ones were a close call for me. I almost sized up to the 20 in these ones. So just full disclosure for these ones, the rigid front, what are they technically called? The Rigid Magic, where they've got the rigid front and the stretchy back. I find that this is not a style that works for my specific body type very well. I almost need the opposite, where I need it to be stretchier and more like snapback in the front and then rigid in the back, because like I mentioned before, with my body shape and the way that my body has kind of been changing in the last few months, this area around my hips and above my thighs, I tend to have too much fabric in. So this is not where I want it to be rigid, because that's when I end up getting this extra fabric and these wrinkles. I need it to be stretchy in this area and like really snap back and in the waist. And so I find that these tend to not do me any favors. So I am in the 18, and I do find that the waist is a little snug on me. I have virtually no stretch in the waist on these ones, especially in the front, because it is that rigid front. And then in the back, they definitely have a bit more stretch. But again, like I said, that is not where I need the stretch on my personal body shape. The reason that I did not size up to the 20, I did try them on, was just, like I mentioned before, with me having too much fabric in this area, it was just like way too baggy in the front. And then the waist did feel a bit, it did fit me better in the waist in the 20, but the rest of the jean I was just swimming in at that point. And these are meant to be kind of like a 90s like relaxed dad jean, but it was like too relaxed. Just wasn't quite working for me. So I did opt for the 18, but if you do carry more of your weight in the waist, kind of like I do, I would say if you're between Judy Blue sizes, I would recommend sizing up for these ones. So in terms of like being described as 90s, I think that definitely makes sense, because these are kind of a light, not quite acid wash, but they're getting there. They've got a lot of this whiskering here. You can see where there's like remnants of the darker denim poking through on like where the fabric was folded during the dye process on the waistband and on the pockets. We do have these pretty significant physical distressing rips just above the knees. They might be more on the knees for other people, but for me they fit just above the knee because I have such long legs. And then on the back, we can see more of that pretty significant light fading in the wash, especially on the corners of the pockets here. And then the length on these is pretty long. I'm gonna guess they're probably about 31-ish inches, because they are actually like touching the top of my foot, which is rare for me for a Judy Blue jean, especially one that has more of a straight boot cut, almost wide leg. That these are a decent length on me. They're not long enough, but I mean that pretty much never happens unless I special order jeans. But yeah, so these ones, again, these are the Judy Blue High Rise Rigid Magic 90s Destroyed Straights, aka the Atlas. I do find that these ones are quite tight in the waist for me personally. If you're between Judy Blue sizes, especially based on your waist, I would recommend sizing up. But that being said, I did still stick with my 18, just because even though the waist was nicer on the 20, everything else was definitely too big on me. But again, that's just because of the way my body is shaped. Yeah, so anyways, 0 through 24W on these for sizing, and $103. And these will be launching Thursday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right, and I don't believe there is a Friday or a Thursday evening lunch. There is not. So we'll move on to Friday. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so on Friday, we have some of our super cute Valentine's sweaters launching, and we have 2 of them that are coming in plus, and I'm obsessed with them. So I'm super, super excited. I'm just double checking that is Friday, right? 15th. Yes. Friday we'll have our cute like Valentine's Day sweaters, and we have 2 of them. I'm so excited, so I'm gonna go pop those ones on and be right back. So here we have the first one, and I'm obsessed with the colors and everything on this one. So this one here, this is the Sweetheart Striped Knit Sweater in white, pink, and red. This one's going to be retailing for $84, and we have it available in sizes small through 3X, and it is a 1X large is like the middle size for this one. Everyone wears their true typical size for this one. So Christine is in the small, Carrie is in the medium, Melissa wears the 1X, and I am in the 3X for this one. It is definitely a bit of that like fun, oversized vibe for this one, and I am just obsessed. It is 100% polyester. It has this cool kind of like crinkly looking knit, if that makes sense, and it does have quite a bit of stretch as well, but then it snaps right back. It is just like a really good, comfy, just all over kind of relaxed vibe. And I love the drop shoulder. I love the stripes. I love red and pink together, even outside of Valentine's Day. I just think it's a super fun color combo. If we turn to the side, we can see that it is a little bit longer in the back than it is in the front, not drastically so. And it is a pretty good length. It doesn't quite give me full bum coverage, but it's close. And for people shorter than me, which is like most people, it's definitely going to give you a little bit of that booty coverage, so you could wear it with something like leggings or something like that. The sleeves are also a really nice length. These ones don't have as much structure around the cuff, so if you are someone who doesn't like when the sleeves fall, these ones might not stay up as well. It's not bad so far, but I can tell that as I'm kind of moving around, they're probably, if I do that, they're gonna end up falling. But because they're not like a tight cuff, I find that these ones don't really bother me at all. If I turn around from the back, we can see we've just got that super cute stripe that just continues the whole way around the sweater, and I really like that they align on the side too. That's something that for striped sweaters that really bothers me, is if the stripes don't line up on the side knit, and this one does. So I'm very, very happy about that. And again, I'm just like such a fan of the different shades of, we have the red, we have kind of a magenta, and then like a blush pink. Just such a good color combo. I am in love. So again, this is the Sweetheart Striped Knit Sweater in white, pink, and red. $84 for this one, and it sizes small through 3X. We all wear our typical size for this one. The next one is probably my favorite thing we've had in a hot minute. It's the one that I teased at the end of my live last time. It is the Cupid's Kiss puff sleeve knit top. Super excited to try this one. And then I also do have one of the other tops, I think maybe both of them, to try on, because it is a large, but it looks pretty generous, so I'm gonna try it. We'll see. I haven't tried it yet, but we'll find out together. But either way, let's get this one out of the way first, because I know this one fits and I am in love. And I know a lot of other people are excited about this one as well, because how could you not be? Okay. So again, Cupid's Kiss puff sleeve knit top in fuchsia. This one is retailing for $84, and it is again going to be available in sizes small through 3X, with a 1X large as the kind of mid-size there. This one is also true to size for this one, 100% acrylic. We all wear our typical size, so Christine in the small, Carrie in the medium, Melissa in the 1X, and myself in the 3X for this one. Just the most ridiculously adorable thing. It is this gorgeous fuchsia color with these little pops of white hearts. I know this definitely screams Valentine's Day, but I'm the kind of person that wears like themed types of outfits all year round, particularly Halloween. I wear my Halloween ampersands that have like the ghosts and say boo and stuff on them year round all the time. Absolutely love it. I just go shopping for my all the time during Halloween. It's fantastic. But this sweater is no exception for me. I would definitely wear this outside of February as well, because it is so stinking cute. And I think that because hearts are an innocuous enough pattern, you could totally just wear this just because, and it doesn't have to be Valentine's Day just because it's pink and has hearts on it. The puff sleeves, absolutely adorable. I love that they have the kind of like gathering here to kind of add with the volume and just a bit more detail. And it is just a really nice like standard length for a sweater too. It's hitting for me like kind of right at my natural hip. It's not cropped, but it's also not super long either. And it is a little bit more of a fitted top. It's not as loose and relaxed, which I think is great, especially because I view this being a little bit more like dressy, especially if you had like a dressier vest to put over this and then have the sleeves popping out. I think that would be so adorable as a cute little outfit. yeah, so again, this is the Cupid's Kiss puff sleeve knit top in fuchsia. $84 for this one. Size is small to 3X, and we all wore our typical size for this one. I also have the Glinda checkered knit sweater, pink and ivory. This one is small, medium, large, but I do see it. I didn't try it last week for photos, but I'm guessing what happened is that when Christine went to try it on, she saw the large and realized that it looks like it's pretty like accessible, like pretty oversized, like it could probably go beyond just a small, medium, large, kind of like POL. So we will try it now and find out. If I don't walk out, it's because it didn't work, but just kind of looking at it on the hanger, I do think there is a good chance that this one will work for me. It's probably not going to give the same oversized vibe as it would on Christine or Carrie, but we'll find out. Ugh, there we go. Oh yeah, absolutely. Not a problem for this one. So this absolutely works for me. So again, this is the Glinda, which very timely name right now for sure. The Glinda checkered knit sweater in pink and ivory. This one's gonna be retailing for $87. And again, this one is available in sizes small, medium, and large. But as we can see that I'm wearing the large just fine. So it is definitely very oversized, and you can definitely size down very safely in this one. So Christine and Carrie are both wearing the small. I'm in the large, and I'm willing to gander that Melissa will wear the large as well. And honestly, based on how it's fitting me in the large, potentially the medium, but probably still the large, just so she has enough room in the bust and shoulders area here. For material for this one is 100% acrylic, much like most of the sweaters we tried on today. On Christine's picture, it's definitely, with her being in the small, which is her true size, and it being as oversized, it is definitely more of like a billowy, oversized kind of vibe. Whereas for me, it is a little bit more, it's not fitted though, like even with me in the large, like it's not like it's really like sleek and form fitted. It still has a bit of billowing. I like that it's still, like for me in the waistband, it's almost like form fitting, so I can do the kind of like balloon tuck kind of style, which is in right now, where it doesn't, where you kind of like tuck in and it has that more like a bubble effect, which I really like. I think that looks really cute for me, so I do like that. And still have a lot of good length on this too. Like it is past my, like my natural hip is kind of here, and it's a little bit further down. The sleeves might be a little bit short for me, but they are still, there's lots of room in the sleeves. I'm not narrow in the shoulders because it does have a drop sleeve, and they're not tight on the arms or anything, but I do find that when, I'll do this so we can actually see, when I stick my out, you can see a lot of my wrist bone there, but that's pretty normal for sweaters that even are sized for me. Not me sizing down into a large, so I'm not surprised at all. There isn't a ton of stretch in the cuff, so I'm not able to pull the cuffs up super far up my arms, but they are definitely staying in place this way. So I'm actually really pleasantly surprised with how this fits. I thought that it would fit, but I didn't think it would be as cute on me as it is, considering it's meant to be kind of more oversized, but I am definitely a fan. I think this is adorable. So again, this is the Glinda checkered knit sweater in pink and ivory. This one's going to be retailing for $87. Sizes small, medium, and large. Carrie and Christine will take the small. I'm in the large, and I'm willing to gander that Melissa will take the large in this one as well. And that is everything for the Friday daily drop. That works for me. I'm going to check the Friday evening lunch. We have some Judy Blue pieces, but I don't think I've tried them yet, so I don't have anything here to try on. And then we'll check Saturday. Okay. So I'm not seeing anything for Saturday launch as well. So that is actually everything that I have for the evening, or for this morning. So a little bit, I guess still almost an hour. I was gonna say a little bit of a shorter live, but it's still 11:56, so not really, but yeah, thank you everyone for hanging out with me. Once again, my name is Michelle. I'm a 3X model here at Lavender and Lace Boutique. I typically wear a size 3X top and bottom. I'm typically an 18W in Judy Blues, a 20 to 22 numerically in other brands and clothing. And for height reference, I'm 6'1". I go live every Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to try on all of the plus size pieces that are launching throughout the week at LLB. So if that is something that interests you, you can find me here again on Facebook and Instagram on Tuesday of next week at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I will be here again. So thank you, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Bye.